feel like your previous homeschool year was a disaster, now is the time to reflect on your homeschool life and determine how to make next year better, or at least avoid the things that made this year hard. Homeschool life is challenging. I know I'm stating the obvious, but there are things that can take you from this is challenging to that was a complete disaster. I don't know if I should continue with this experiment. Mom, I think you should keep going, and I want to walk you through why you felt your homeschool was a disaster so you can reclaim your confidence. Homeschool life is filled with opportunities for growth and learning for you and your kids. Hello, Rebel Moms. Welcome to the Life Unboxed podcast. I am Jody the mom, wife, homeschool mom of 6, and successful mom entrepreneur. I am bringing you information and inspiration on raising kids, running a business, and keeping your sanity. So get your Rebel Mom checklist so you can work from home and homeschool confidently. You can find the checklist, the episode show notes, tools to make your life easier, and more information at lifeunboxed.blog. Now let's get into the seasons of homeschool life. I live by the phrase, to everything there is a season. And maybe it's my age and I have more years to reflect on, or I've just experienced so many seasons, I've learned that the one thing we can depend on with seasons, they will change. When we first started homeschooling, it was a disaster, and it's not an exaggeration. I really didn't think I could do it. There were many times that first year that I was convinced my kids would have to go back to school. And I was a homeschool graduate. I was prepared for anything. I started our homeschool life with confidence and swagger. Nothing was going to surprise me because I knew exactly what to expect. In case you didn't know it, there's a big difference between homeschooling girls, which I was or am, and homeschooling boys. So here I am, our first year of homeschooling with 2 boys who were only familiar with public school. And I was a very motivated homeschool learner. I'll just keep it at that. So I'm thinking that they're going to be just as motivated as I was, right? That first year, it was like hitting my head against the brick wall. I was so frustrated, but I was the expert homeschooler here, right? I didn't give up, and I kept going. The second year was only a slight improvement from the first year, but we still kept going. When my oldest graduated from high school, I did some more reflecting on his homeschool journey, and I started going through the grades. So 5th grade was the first year we homeschooled, and it was a disaster. 6th grade was only slightly better. 7th grade was hard. 8th grade was hard. In 9th grade, I really think that's when things started clicking. So I wanted to share this with you so you know I'm not writing some fluff piece to make you all warm and fuzzy inside. I've been in a season of disaster and come through it. You can be confident that your season, whatever you're in right now, will change. So let me give you 7 reasons your homeschool life was a disaster. Let's get real. So things are not going to magically change on their own. We need to be willing to examine everything and find areas to improve. So here are my 7 reasons your homeschool was a disaster. And remember, just one of these things could have been the cause. So get out your mom notebook, link in the description below, and write down the answers to the questions. If you're going to make changes, then you need to honestly assess the causes. Number 1, wrong curriculum. The curriculum you choose will play a very important role in your homeschool. It can make or break your year. Okay, not really break because you can change it, but it will have a tremendous impact on how well your year goes. Our first year was a total disaster because a lot of it was due to the curriculum we were using. I couldn't change it because we didn't have the money, So we had to just suffer through it. It is really hard to homeschool when your child despises school, and the curriculum you use can be the cause of it. So I did change the homeschool curriculum the following years because I realized I needed to save my money and do all that. So this is your first question. Did your curriculum work for you this year? And maybe parts of it did, but other parts didn't. So really start to think through this question and write it down. Number 2, schedule didn't work. How you plan things is going to impact your homeschool as well. So maybe you tried time blocking and that didn't work, or you tried to schedule every minute of your day, but that didn't work either. So we need time management for moms who work from home. Show link in the description below. Or you looked at all the social media posts about waking up whenever you want, starting the day with lazy mornings. Sounds good, right? But that didn't work either. So how you planned or didn't plan your homeschool will also impact how well it went or didn't go. All right, next, this is your question. How did you plan your school year? Did it work for you? Number 3, unrealistic expectations. And I think this might be one of our superpowers as moms. And it is with good intentions. We want the best and we want to know the best for our kids. We see all the social media posts of kids running around outside and petting chickens and think that is what all homeschooling looks like. Or we assume that we should be enjoying homeschool all the time because all the other moms seem to. Our expectations can make us feel like we are failing as homeschool moms. So, do you have unrealistic expectations? If so, what are they? Number 4, mom burnout. It is a real thing. When we are trying to juggle so many things, homeschool mom burnout can hit hard. You start to do crazy things like look at private school tuition or contemplate vacations you could go on if you weren't buying curriculum, maybe looking them up. And you're just tired. Yes, you're a busy mom juggling all the things, and you're going to get tired. You aren't 20 anymore and able to plan large events and pull all-nighters and still get up with a ton of energy. I wish I was. So are you feeling the way you're feeling because you're burnt out? Number 5, you're deschooling. This is a real thing. We spent the first years of our homeschool journey, or the first years of our school journey going to public school. We had that routine down. Get up, get dressed, eat breakfast, get out the door. And it takes time to change this routine and this mindset. And it may even take a full year. And I say this not to discourage, but to encourage. If your first year of homeschool felt like a disaster, then you might be deschooling and it is normal. So your question for this, are you in the deschooling phase? Number 6, trying to fit a certain homeschool style. There are so many homeschool styles and many well-intentional homeschoolers think their way is the best. Or if you're going to do a certain homeschool style, then it has to follow the letter of the founder. Like you have to follow it to the letter of I don't want to say law, but you know what I mean. Now, before I started homeschooling, I really thought classical education was going to be the way for us. I read the popular book like The Well-Trained Mind and thought this was perfect until I actually tried it. So I quickly discovered that classical education would not work for us. Are you trying to fit a specific homeschool style? And if you are, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And what didn't work for you? And you have permission to make it work how you want it to work. Number 7, too many field trips, not enough home. The problem with homeschool socialization is we have too many opportunities. And sometimes we say yes to too many things and need more time at home. So this one's very simple. What are you saying yes to that maybe you should say no to? Now let's talk about 7 ways to reclaim your homeschool life confidence for a better year. Now, everything I mentioned above may not apply to you, but if one or two resonated, then keep watching and listening because you can do this, mom. Number one, find the right curriculum. This isn't about the perfect curriculum, but finding a homeschool curriculum that works for you. Some curriculum may work for some grades, but not for another. Now, I've pieced together curriculum and I've used all-in-one curriculum. Each has pros and cons. Some worked great, others were okay, and still others were added to the never again list. Also, working from home and homeschooling adds another dynamic to your curriculum choices. Because of that, I have created the Momtrepreneur's Guide to Curriculum, and I want to help you start planning your year with confidence and just understanding like all the curriculums available and what has worked as a work from home mom. So it's like every single grade because I've now homeschooled every single grade. So we cover every single grade in there. So link will be in the description below. Number two, ditch the schedule and create a routine. There are so many ways to plan your homeschool day. After so many years of working in homeschooling, I've discovered the best way to plan our day, and that is by creating a routine. So ditch the schedule and create routines that work for you and your kids. Start with a morning routine and go from there. Number three, adjust your expectations. You don't have to enjoy homeschooling all the time, nor is homeschool just public school at home. Homeschool is all about freedom. Don't try to live up to someone else's expectations of homeschooling. Find what works for you and go all in on it. Number four, take a break. If you're tired or burnt out, then you need to take a break. Your greatest asset as a momtrepreneur, and homeschool mom is your physical and mental health, so take care of it. You also gain a fresh perspective when you unplug. Reset your mood, expectations, and a bad day by taking a break. Moms do have no good, very bad days, but don't let that determine the rest of your homeschooling. Number five, homeschool is not public school at home. This is the biggest mistake that most newbies make, assuming that kids should be spending 7 hours on school and you should be more involved in learning and teaching every subject. I'm going to say it again. Homeschool is not public school at home. This is finish schoolwork in a few hours, but that gives you lots of time for experiential learning. Don't need to teach every subject. Kids can learn. This is very well, and you can outsource your learning. So virtual science labs, anyone. This is number six. Be a rebel mom. Find your own homeschool style. You can be a rebel mom even in the homeschool world. I don't do read alouds all the time because I don't like to read aloud. I never have. But find what works for you and make it your style. If you want to do Charlotte Mason, but you don't like all the book suggestions, then replace them. Let your kids read twaddle. Please, I beg you, let them read twaddle. So you build up a love of learning. Find subjects that interest your kids and have a blast. Number seven, say no. There are lots of opportunities for homeschoolers, but sometimes you need to say no. Just keep your sanity. You can't do everything, so it's okay to know your limitations and accept them. Now, reflecting on your homeschool life allows you to celebrate your achievements, growth, and the invaluable experiences you've gained. Homeschooling is a journey that is filled with triumphs and sometimes disasters, but that's how we learn and grow. If your year was a disaster or close to it, you can change it for next year. Start with the Momtrepreneur's Guide to Curriculum. It is years of experience packed into over 60 pages of sanity-saving tips. So be sure to get your copy now. Link is in the description below. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog and download your Rebel Mom checklist. Remember, you can work from home and homeschool confidently. And I will see you next time.